Was that all?
It was.
Yeah.
Did it again.
So, have you entered that link in your?
And where?
Oh, you didn't tell us to do that.
I didn't.
I just can't
Where in the space up here?
Yeah, in your browser, in the address bar, or and then once you're in, we should see your little icon show up in the top.
That's an uppercase,
Five.
isn't it?
Oh, it's
Yes.
case sensitive.
It is case sensitive.
E5 or
So I tried to use a
5
easily readable
2.
font.
A.
Okay, there's Polly.
Oh, wow. How'd you do that? I mean, how did I do that? Okay, it's a sharing doc. Okay,
Right.
cool enough. I've done this
And,
before with
so-
OIT.
Am I up there now?
Ooh.
Not
So
yet.
actually, the sharing doc actually opened up the paperless classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta click this maybe?
So
Let's see. I might have typed the address in.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is right there. Comma, I need to be a period.
actually,
No, I don't mean that. E-I-R, it's not it. It's a capital I, that's right.
I think I have to set up some exams now that I see you. It's like,
you got me.
Yeah,
Actually, we should probably you can talk to me after this.
yeah,
I am gonna steal this, Gary, because
Oh, sure.
because, yeah.
Coming in?
I think in one of my classes, I'm grading, I have 2 different sets. Grading. One is 1 to 10 and 1 to 100 in the same class.
wow.
But I know how to change that, actually.
In there.
I know my students know how to use Google Doc. In fact, I don't like them to send me their stuff in Google Doc because I don't have it fully set up. But I send their presentations to them in my face-to-face class. It's a speech class,
Okay.
presentation class. So I'm learning how to use Google Doc because it's so convenient to use.
Yes.
I set up a folder.
And we're gonna look at a few features here that
Okay.
even I haven't really used much. But if you know that they exist, you're suddenly gonna realize that while
I have
Google
no
Docs
idea
is
why you're not getting there.
more powerful than
need
so
an
a lot of people want to
HTTP,
stay in Word because they know it can do certain things.
Yeah.
But once they find out that
Putting that-
Google Docs has similar
Putting it in, it's not
functions,
showing up.
Oh, wow. Wow.
URL is?
Yeah.
What number did you use?
You can use mine if you want.
get rid of the
It's
www.
the same. Right?
No, we
It's the
tried
same
that.
number.
Doesn't make any difference. Comes back
Yeah.
to the same thing.
Yes, it is.
is it an I or an L there?
That's
It should be an I.
It isn't, I mean, it's
capital I.
Goo.
That's what it
Geo.
keeps
There's
giving.
something
Are
wrong.
you searching it, or is it in the? Should be
Goo.geo.
in the
I put it in the address
address
link.
bar.
It didn't work.
E5R. I2A.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Magic. It took all of us in the
All right.
Okay.
We had that
So,
collective energy
now-
to go that route.
Very rarely, although you may, are you going to be giving students this kind of a link? I did it because I
Why
wasn't
would I
sure.
be doing that?
Because you should have a list of your students.
Yeah.
You'll know their email addresses, so you could create a group and share things with them each time you do it. But because anybody
Oh,
can show
okay.
up to this, I created this link to the document, and I set up the sharing permissions to give anybody who has this link, who is also in the University of Alaska system, the ability to edit this. So you could go, you guys have the ability to edit this document right now.
Okay.
So if I click on your icon here, I can see where you are in the document. It looks like, so there, I'm actually operating as Gary here. So if I click on my icon, I can see that right now I'm down here.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay, the red indicates.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll just show you real quickly how you share a doc. You create a doc, and then you want to share it out with your class, or just make it available. And you could put this link inside Blackboard or something, and rather than worrying about, because it can be hard to manage lists of students
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
So it's the share button here at the top, and I selected anyone at UA with the link can edit. So if you don't know this, you can't access this. If I'm like walking along the street and I drop it on the sidewalk and someone picks it up, they can, and they have a University of Alaska account, they
Yeah.
can get in here and change everything.
Oh,
So that's just one way to share it out. I can also change it to say, okay, you guys can only view. Okay, so now you can't edit it.
okay. This is what I do with their videos. I just send it to them with don't edit, with no editing.
Right.
Where did you go to do that? So, okay, so you're in a,
You should see this little share button up here. It has like a little building and a chain icon.
well,
I don't see it.
I don't, where are you?
You probably don't have it in this doc because you're not. Oh no, you do have it. Right there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, share, right up
I
there,
don't have
okay.
a share. Why don't I have it?
Are you logged in?
Yes. Oh, am I?
She has to be logged in
I have to be logged into this.
to UA.
So what,
I am logged in.
What browser are you using, Polly?
Don't know. That's a very
Firefox.
difficult question to ask me. Yes, it's
Yep,
Firefox.
Okay. Well, let's not worry about that right now.
okay, and are we in Google Docs now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're in Google Docs.
Oh,
Yeah.
right there.
So one way to kind of quickly
Okay.
figure out where you are is this tells us this is docs. This color.
Turn the menu off.
Okay,
Oh, okay. So I am logged in,
And
right?
yeah.
Google
Yeah,
has their
Okay.
apps kind of color coordinated, green and blue. So blue is docs. So I gave you this short link. I shared it out, and I gave you editing settings. So now this is something that you probably wouldn't be doing with your students, but it's a capability that your students would have if you're letting them create their assignments inside of Google Docs. So I wrote this plan for today's lesson here, just to give us something to delete and change around. So try to go down into the doc to this point and just try to edit it, try to change something.
And, okay. Let's see. Okay. Try to change something of anything.
Yeah, so I'm gonna delete, I'm gonna add something here. I'm gonna say today's a great lesson.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So you could add something, you could change something if you see a spelling error.
I think it is as well. Okay, but how do I know that I edited it?
Cool.
That's a good question.
Oh,
So for one, we each have different colors for our cursor.
oh, okay.
And then you can also go back and view all of the changes that have been made to the doc and by whom. And that can be very specific.
I see.
Um,
Wow, this is great if you're writing a paper together, like I'm co-authoring.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. So is it Robert?
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Do you want to try and delete something or add something just so you kind of get it? You did?
Yep, I added the word live.
Oh, perfect.
And then what, color it? Can I color it? What is this?
All right, color coded.
So you have
I
it
see what you're saying.
highlighted now.
Or you want to hide it?
Oh, no, this is highlighted for me? Okay, now it's highlighted.
Space, the final frontier there are the
Right.
wages of the stars.
That'll work.
So yeah, great. So you bolded it, made it a little bigger,
Yeah.
changed the font. Perfect. So this is just a proof of concept. That's what you can do. So if you're actually working together, and let's say we really are working on collaborating on a paper, it can be kind of hard to, especially if let's say Polly and I are working on something
Yeah.
together. I'm not just going to go in there and just wantonly rewrite your stuff. Have you ever used the track changes feature? in
Yes, I
Word?
have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Google Docs has a feature that's similar to that. I don't know if it's as powerful.
It's more powerful.
It's more powerful, okay. And I've only dabbled with this a little bit, but underneath the next heading, editing and revising, there are two examples of ways to work on something in Docs other than just changing it, other than just editing it. So one is to use suggested edits. And on the top right, you'll see this little pencil icon.
Yeah.
So this lets you choose if you're editing the document directly, which is what we were doing up here.
Right.
So I'm actually editing the document here.
Okay, so it doesn't show, it doesn't track.
It's tracking it, but it's not showing it to you visually in the document. There's a history being
It's tracking
created.
behind there, so
Right.
I would be able to see.
You can access that.
Yeah, okay.
But you would really only be doing that if you're trying to see sort of which students contributed more, or who, let's say someone came in and deleted everything, you could go back and find out who that was. But suggested edits makes it really obvious what you want to change. So I took this little blurb. It was actually from Saturday Night Live. They were making fun of Star Trek, and they had just kind of mangled the opening bit of Star Trek. So I went through here and I said, you know what? We need to change this to something. This needs to sound better than this. So I changed my mode to suggesting. So now when I make an edit, let's change this to this is. When I make an edit, it's going to show both what I have changed and what my change was.
Got it.
And
When you did it.
Who did it
Okay.
and when.
Okay.
And it also creates a little comment feature here. So Gary created this. I'm working as Gary.
Yeah.
But if I come in here as me, I can see that he edited it.
Thanks for the edit, but no thanks.
exactly. I mean, it gives you the ability to take a look at what students are suggesting, as results or modifications, and it gives you the ability to then comment on that
Okay.
and say,
Right.
good idea. I think you missed the point here. The language needs to reflect, whatever the case.
So I'm going to leave a comment to Gary's edit.
Okay, so for example, I have my students give me outlines. So this would be a good example of where they could put their outline in Google Docs so I can edit. Because what I'm doing is I'm looking at it and sending it back as an email, saying this is what you need to change, without
Right.
actually working with the document. But this would be perfect
Right.
to say, this is what I want to see more of this.
And then you could email them and say, hey, I've given you suggestions in the document,
Google Doc, yeah.
but you're not copying and pasting.
No,
And it's very easy to keep track of who has changed what, when it was changed, if you are going to accept the change. I mean, at some point, so these are all suggested right now.
yeah.
So I could say, oh yeah, that makes sense. The last frontier, that's Alaska, right? We want to say the final frontier, that's outer space.
Yeah.
So I can click this little check mark to accept that suggestion.
Right? And Sean can do
How
that
do you-
because he is the owner of the document.
Okay, so how do you know which one you're going to accept? You have,
You could accept all of them if you want.
but you have to. I mean, okay, so I guess the question is, if you just want to accept Voyages and not Starship, how would you just accept the changes for Voyages and not Starship?
So these are two separate suggestions.
Yeah.
So when you click
Oh,
on it,
okay.
it has these sort of brackets
I
on the
see.
top and bottom,
Okay.
and that shows you what is being
Okay. I get it.
addressed there. So yeah, trips sounds like some family summer vacation. Voyages is a much more powerful word. So I'm going to
Okay.
maybe I'll reply and say, yes, great suggestion,
Yeah. Okay.
and I'll reply and then accept that. So-
how do you get that right panel over there? I don't have it on my screen.
You
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
No,
Oh, I do.
You might zoom out. Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
just zoom
so
out
I
a
just
little
zoomed
bit.
out, okay.
And these are automatically created when you make a suggested edit. So I could say, okay, I want to say brand new civilizations. And it's going to come up with a new little thing over here. Okay, so this is one way of editing. The other way, which I personally tend to use more, and this maybe is not really the best practice, but I tend to use commenting, which is the same thing, except instead of having your suggested change being reflected in the body of the document, you're making some kind of a qualitative comment about some section. So whereas here I'm just making a direct, like, replace fly with go, replace in space with before. Here I'm making actual sort of judgments. These are the trips. How about voyages? Or the next one, the Star Trek
Okay.
Enterprise. What is that? There's no Star Trek Enterprise.
I like
It's the
that.
Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
And then you can have this discussion here. When you click resolve, nothing actually changes. You actually have to make the change. Oh, whoops. So I'm still in suggested edit mode.
So where actually do you get to the edit? See, I actually,
Right.
oh, I see. Suggestions. Edits become
So
suggestions.
it's that little mode button at the top, editing,
The pencil button.
Oh, the
suggested,
pencil button. Okay.
reviewing. Yeah.
I don't see the pencil button on this one. Okay. I actually have an informative speech up here.
So as
Oh,
where
okay, you're in suggested mode right there.
Okay, I just put it in suggested.
Right.
But I want to edit directly. So why is it that not? Why is that not? What happened to my little pencil?
Probably because Sean owns the document. Oh,
Yeah.
but that's yours.
I actually don't think ownership is an issue. I'm able to do things as
Whoops.
you, Gary. So
Huh. So, because I actually have a speech
Yeah.
that somebody sent to my Google Docs, one of my students.
Mhm.
And so I'd like to practice editing it, but I don't have my little edit pencil.
oh, it's not the pencil anymore. It's the green. It
Yeah,
changes.
but
Yeah, but
notice-
it doesn't have, oops, the editing.
Editing rates. No, that,
Are you not the owner?
Well, how do I know if I'm not the owner? I know he sent it to me.
if
Click on
he's,
share.
yeah, click on the sharing. and see.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So you're not the owner.
Great.
okay.
So that's actually a really good point there.
Yeah, because
So-
he had to press share, he had to send it to me and,
So if you
Yeah.
share something to someone,
Yeah.
and you don't give them edit privileges, they can still make suggested edits to it. They're
okay.
not changing the document, but they're just sort of putting this layer of
Okay.
suggestion over it.
So,
And you can ignore that. You can accept it.
so if I want him to edit this one, let's say suggestion, it's a suggestion, so why doesn't it highlight?
You have to actually change something. So you're suggesting.
Yeah.
Try changing some of his
Okay,
text.
I can't really, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. But that doesn't seem like suggestion, that's actually editing it.
No, it is a suggestion because it's showing both what you're writing and what you're correcting, and it puts them together.
And did it show so you see the two brackets on top and bottom?
Yeah,
That's indicative of the suggested mode.
okay. So, all right. Okay,
Yeah, so Robert's in there adding some stuff. That's great.
okay,
So-
Okay, so I've actually put that in the, oh, wait a minute.
I think because you're in edit mode, hub?
You're in full editing mode, which means you're actually changing the document.
Okay, I don't want to be. I thought I was in suggesting mode. Oh, it says edits become suggestions.
Right, and now you can tell you're in
Mm,
that mode because see the bracket on the top and the bottom.
Yeah,
So that's always indicative of suggestion mode.
Okay, so that's suggestion.
And there you go. This is
Yeah.
the suggestion mode approach.
Okay.
Okay, so these are just two ways of
I want to suggest here. So
dealing with editing collaboratively inside Google Docs.
I still don't have a suggestion in Google Docs because I wanted to suggest something here, and I have here suggesting.
Just type.
Something?
Select something and then start typing.
Okay. Oh, I see.
So
I am wondering.
the green indicates it's a suggestion.
The green there
Oh, wait a
indicates
minute. I
that.
have green, you have purple.
So everyone's color is going to be different. So Polly is commenting, or she's making a suggestion, and hers is in blue. So now, Polly, what you wrote there might actually be better as a comment because
Oh, that's what I meant. A comment.
yeah. So when you're in suggested edit mode, you're actually you're suggesting that certain things be actually changed.
Yeah.
In commenting, you're just sort of kind of saying, hey, what do you think about this? Or
Okay, so how would I make it a comment rather than suggestion?
you need to be in editing mode.
I am in editing mode.
So I go in editing.
Okay.
Oh, and editing. Okay, I need to be in editing. Okay.
And then you select something,
Okay, I'm gonna take this out. I'm going to go. Okay, fine.
and you
okay.
click. Actually, I didn't get this far. I'm sorry. You get to here, insert comment.
Okay, so I am inserting. It's
Oh,
not
you're up
any
here.
different.
Ah, you're up there,
You
okay.
need to highlight and then click
Okay.
insert comment. So
Okay.
highlight the phrase you're going to make some
Okay.
comment about.
Okay. Oh,
So you could highlight, say, voyages or something like that.
okay, the voyages.
Yeah.
Okay, and then,
Click the little, I guess it looks like a comment button in the top middle next to the link bar.
okay. Top middle next to the link bar.
You can see it right here.
Oh, okay.
Next one right there, insert comment.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so you'll type
Okay.
the comment and then you'll submit the comment, and
All
then
right,
it should
got it.
show up.
Okay.
Yeah, so see, so now I see Polly's comment. I can click on the comment. It'll show what the comment is about,
Okay, I got it.
and I can say, I totally
I like that.
agree. I can reply. So now we have this sort of, it's
Alright.
almost like a little discussion, but it's
Yeah.
contextualized to a certain part of the document.
I can see where this works really well with my outlines that the students will. I actually will use it.
Yeah.
Because we have another speech.
Mhm.
I'll just have them Google Doc me and we can go back and forth.
And then let's say, okay, this is great. We like this. I like this. You like this.
Yeah.
We're done with this. I can click resolve, and poof, the
It's
comment. It's not gone. I've just sort of cleared it from our
Okay.
workspace. So, all right, good. We got our hands a little dirty with the suggested edits and comments. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is looking at doing citations inside Google Docs. This is something that is really useful. So Google Docs has a are you familiar with Google Scholar?
Yeah.
Google Scholar it's basically a academic research search engine built into Google. And it's integrated with our libraries.
I
Journal
believe they've
access.
got access to
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
So you can go to scholar.google.com and search for, so I was searching for nanotechnology. And I can search for articles, including patents, and it's going to give me all of these different
Right.
results, and it's going to give me a link, an ability to search UAF's resources. But you also have the ability to do this right inside of Google Docs, which is super cool. Zoom back in. So I searched for a couple of these, water on Mars. So to do that, go to, the tools menu.
Okay. Tools.
And research.
Research. Okay.
And this is a place where I think Google Docs kind of blows Microsoft Word out of the water, because you wouldn't probably want to do full-blown research, but you can you could make a quick works cited or a quick sort of preliminary bibliography right inside of Google Docs and have it nicely formatted. So you go to the research tool. And on the right side, you get this little bar. And under there, you can search all of Google images and also Scholar. So I'm going to click on Scholar.
So what's the research tool again?
It's under Tools,
Okay, I got that.
Research.
I got that. Okay.
And that's
There
going
you
to
go.
pop up on the right.
Yeah, I got that. Okay.
And so select Scholar.
Okay.
And then just search for any topic, any.
Okay. I'm looking for peacemaking circles, so I see all this coming up.
Okay, so I'll search for that actually. Circles.
Yeah.
Crop circle?
You can
Yeah,
search for crop
I do too.
circles too. So it's giving me these different articles.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And it shows me how many people have cited them, etc. And so I can insert that into this document. So I click
Oh my
insert,
gosh.
and
Okay.
it does that automatically.
Wow, let me see.
Oh,
How did
okay.
you just click the cite as footnote
So
and
how
insert.
where did it go?
Either one.
Holy mackerel.
Where did it
So
It went where your cursor was in the document.
go? Okay, my cursor has to be somewhere. Okay.
so
let's try.
when you cite it as a footnote, so I'll just say footnote
Wow.
number 3.
Boy, they're trying to put all the.
See that I'm sold on.
I can click cite as footnote,
Wow,
and it's
holy
going to create a
mackerel.
new footnote right down here automatically.
So I just do my research in Google Doc.
You can do
Yeah,
that.
they're trying
My
to put
dissertation.
they're trying to put EndNote out of business, huh?
I can't stand EndNote.
So, and you can
know,
also go
If you
here.
think about all this, I mean, what Sean is walking you through is the part that people spend an excessive amount of time trying to do, when really what you want them to do is gather the research
Exactly.
and make use of it.
Exactly.
This is taking out that end piece where you're spending a lot of time figuring out, how do I format it? How do I copy paste and do all that? Google has said, we're going to make that part easy. You still have to know what you're doing.
Right.
I still have the ultimate question. Is
Okay.
that an APA or what style is that?
Good question.
Good question.
So, see this-
We were waiting for it.
You see these guys are on top of
See
it.
this
Yeah.
this little carrot?
Yeah.
Click that.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Oh,
select
okay.
between MLA,
Okay.
APA, or Chicago.
Oh, yeah. We do APA, although I like MLA.
Oh,
Okay?
Alright.
So you're going to see this was an MLA citation, and this is APA.
I got
Now,
it.
you do still need to know how to do
No.
APA and MLA.
No, I don't.
Well,
I got it.
You have to understand the differences and whether or not it's appropriate for the kind of
well,
work that you're doing.
also because
I know, it's just-
sometimes
I'm just-
Google's pretty good, but sometimes the data that it's pulling from is not accurate. So it's formatting it correctly based on what it has access to. But I was talking with another designer in eLearning today in Madeira, and she said, you really do have to go through, and it'll put little strange symbols and things in there that aren't actual formatting, but still, you can just go through. You could search and say, oh yeah, I like this article. I'm gonna add that. Of course, you need to be on this next line. So you could just create all these perfectly formatted citations in a quick list, and then click here, and you get the PDF.
Okay. I just think I always have a hard time formatting, because it's like I'm trying to cite something. Oh, okay. That's format. That's actually just formatting issue.
Yeah.
Which I always have. Believe me.
There's one last thing I wanted to talk about, and this isn't necessarily a Google paperless only. Well, yeah, it is a paperless only thing. So because so much of research is online, available online, you're often putting a web link in your actual citation. And I'm pretty sure that both APA and MLA, the actual format calls for you to just like list the whole web link. And
Yep.
look at this. Is this a nice link?
Yeah.
Do you want to like tell someone this link over the phone? Can you imagine that?
No.
Or like even try to type it in? No.
No.
So if you're keeping things paperless, in my professional opinion and that of many others, is to link this inside, link it contextually.
Oh yeah, that's right. So how do you do that?
So these two citations are the exact same citation.
How to link? Because I.
So you would take your link, copy the link. Well, that's nice. I can't. Okay, so I'm going to copy it, which is Command C on a Mac. And I'm going to, my personal preference is to make the title of the article the clickable, the linkable item. I'm going to click on this insert link button, and I'll paste it here. So now it looks,
Oh my God, it looks so much better.
and I can, okay, I'm just going to get rid of this. Right?
Here's my big question: is if people are reading it as paper.
If they're reading it as paper, if it's being physically printed out, you might still consider having the link, but can they still find it? Yes, they can still find it because the citation itself is actually there.
No.
Oh, okay.
It exists.
Yeah.
It exists as a findable document, even if the internet didn't exist. It's in a journal. It's in a book somewhere.
Okay, I see.
So
Because
I mean, if you went into LexisNexis or something,
Yeah,
you
okay.
find that same thing, and what they would do is, guess what? They'd have a clickable link
Yeah.
that you'd access it from. So
No,
even,
I like
even
this much
going the
better.
paper version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me personally, if I were, I mean, unless there was some journal that absolutely demanded links be listed out, I would have my works cited page. I'd have the links linked like this,
Okay.
and then I just print it out.
Okay. Could you do the link again? Because I know you highlighted. Okay, Mars and water.
So let's do it for
Copy.
let's do it for one of these. Let's do it for this peacemaking circles.
But I don't have the. How did you get the?
So this is the first
Yeah.
result for that. So I'll insert that. It's quite a long thing. So I'll click on the PDF.
Oh, I
Link.
see. Yeah.
Okay, and this looks like it's not the full PDF. You have to pay.
Mm.
There's a paywall, but it's still a link to that document if they have access to this
Okay.
this journal. So you'd copy this link.
Since when did information have to pay? Since when did we have to start paying for all this information?
Well, you probably can. Let's see here.
I know. It's just been.
If you click
my
on
little-
cited by 15, you can see. So these are the places that have cited that article, but it looks like there's not a free.
All depends on the journal.
Right. But you can still
Okay.
include the link if you want
Yeah.
to. So I basically, Polly, I just copy the link,
Copy.
come back to this page,
Yeah.
select the part that I want to be a link.
Mhm.
Let's say that's quite a long title, but that's
Yeah.
fine. Click the insert link button.
Oh.
And that's
insert link.
this little chain icon is something you'll see when you're linking things or sharing. The share button has that chain icon too. And you would paste, hit apply. Then you have that in there.
Okay. I like links.
Yeah.
Links make it so much easier.
So these are some of the advantages and behaviors of, well, just one of the ways you can be paperless. I mean, Google Docs is kind of like the juggernaut of paperless classes, I think.
So This is Google Docs. How did we get in Google Docs? I had a Word document on my computer.
I can show you, Barry.
Gary, what's the fastest way to get to Google Docs?
Yeah, if you're
From
gonna,
Right here.
you know,
I know there's lots of different ways to do it, but
yeah, there are way many ways to do
I
it.
know there
but,
was one way I do it.
You know, if you're, let's see, where are we at?
Go back to your page right here. Look.
Oh, stop.
I can never.
ooh, there's no waffle.
They don't do that on that anymore, do they?
Maybe from Gmail.
Well,
Yeah, so I said.
yeah, I mean, you could do it if you weren't already there. I guess that would probably be the
Gmail's
best way to do it.
easier.
I found it. Okay, got it. So I was thinking we were in Google Drive, but this is a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Like a Word doc.
Google Doc is
Google Doc.
a document inside of Google Drive.
Okay.
Drives the container, kind of like the file cabinet.
Okay, so I just called up this untitled document and now, okay, so now I've got a Google Doc and it's in my Google Drive right now. Just, I started it, I gotta give it a name, I suppose.
Yeah.
How do I do that? Go to file name or
Click on untitled document. Where
on what?
just click on the,
Oh, the untitled doc,
and that'll
okay,
become editable.
okay. And so that would put it then in my Google Drive somewhere.
Right.
Okay,
So I mean, if you're using the little whatever they call it, nine pin.
I think it's the waffle.
waffle or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a waffle.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Right here, look,
very small waffle.
in your Gmail.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Over,
wow.
over on the far
just
right,
press-
the little.
Waffle, and then you have the
Google Drive. So, Gary, did you want to show what your class website looked like?
Oh, we could
Or-
do that just briefly, sure.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Because we kind of got through that document pretty.
We went lots of places.
Yeah.
Really quickly here. Let me go back. I think you had actually a link to it, right?
Yeah. I think that's the link. That's what I scavenged.
Find out here. So this is my Ed 329 class in Google Sites. Okay, I built it in Google Sites. I do keep my grades in Blackboard because the students, that's what they like. I mean, they appreciate having access to the grades and
Yeah.
all this stuff. But everything else is done here. I mean, from here, you know, you can take a look at my syllabus. My syllabus lives in Google Docs. All that's here is a link to that. I've shared it through Google Sites. Same with my grading policy. It lives in Google Docs, which is really nice because I can edit it. I can share it out with the students. I mean, it's
Polly's syllabus lives in Google Docs.
Huh?
Your syllabus lives in Google Docs.
yeah, but I have it. My students have it in Blackboard, right?
But it's in Google Docs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have lots of things in Google Docs. I don't know how to organize my Google Docs files yet.
patience. Patience.
It's like one thing I've organized though is my Google Docs speeches. So I have them, all the files and stuff, but other than that,
So I'll just use an example of an assignment that is current. So this is what my students see on any given week.
okay, so I have a question about Google Docs versus Blackboard. Why do you choose? I mean, I can see that for materials because a lot of the materials.
Google
Yeah,
Sites, you mean?
I used Google
Yeah,
Sites,
Google Sites.
because Blackboard didn't offer me the kind of flexibility I wanted for this kind of a class.
What type of flexibility would that be?
Well, I can't do some of these things. Now I could, I mean, I've looked at and thought about putting it into it. But one of the things that I want students to do is to be able to do this kind of construction from a website perspective.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I figured the best way to do that is for me to model that,
Okay.
which is why I built it here, because part of one of their assignments is doing the same thing
Okay.
um,
For their classes.
for their classes. yeah.
Okay. That's totally understandable.
So everything has a piece here, which talks about the assignment, talks about what our activities are. So if I click on the assignment for any given week, there's this one. So there's the assignment piece. I've got some data, all of which is online for them to take a look at. That's supplementary information.
Now, Gary, is that a website there? Is that an HTML thing in the middle or is that a Google Doc or a Word doc?
This right here is an embedded picture.
Embedded picture, okay.
Right. I use the program called Mindomo. Mindomo is a mind mapping tool, kind of a visual outlining tool, for lack of a better descriptor.
Okay.
And it allows me to build visual images that are used as an outline for folks.
You did build that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now, but that whole thing though,
Mhm.
go back to a notch. When you first clicked on the link, what that thing there? Okay, so what are we looking? Is that a Word document, HTML? Or did you construct that in this program, or did you import it somehow?
I built it all in here. So if I would, no, I don't have an access set up for it. But yeah, well, here we go.
So you could
I could edit right here. So I'm now in edit mode, and you can see I can change anything in here. So if I wanted to call it something other than classroom design, I'm editing directly.
You built that thing right there. You
I
didn't,
built it right there.
You
because
designed
that
it.
was more convenient rather than doing it in Word or something and plopping it in, or
Yes.
Word is
Okay.
just.
I mean, for me, it was more convenient to just to
okay.
do it that way. I mean, the only pre-done pieces were my syllabus and my grading policy, which were done in Google Docs, because they have to actually get shared out to the department. And
What program did you use to build your design, that classroom thing?
this
Yeah.
thing,
Uh-huh.
Mindomo, Mindomo.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mindomo. Is it hard?
No.
Okay, because I probably gonna have to do that for my dissertation, some of that.
Mindomo is
somebody
a
else
fabulous
do it.
tool to do it with. But yeah, every one of these pages, like this one, has a link on the side, just like you'd find in very similar to Blackboard. Same kind of thing. You can set up that sidebar in Blackboard to do something similar to that. So along with that, they've got things here. For instance, if you don't know how to use Mindomo, I've got a link to a YouTube channel. So the students can then go out, see it. And again, I'm removing the fact that, I have to give them some sort of instruction sheet. They can go out and do that.
Mhm.
I have a direct link to Mindomo's help and support, and they've got lots of interesting stuff on. A link to design images if the students want to import some images into Mindomo. And along with that, there's their assignment that's due this coming week. And along with everything I do, there's always a rubric, a scoring guide. So they know right up front exactly how I'm going to assess them. And that makes my part easy, because where does all this go?
I know the rubric is what I'm missing in both.
Portfolio links. What is? That's it.
So all of the students who are participating in this class have created a portfolio page in Google Sites. And again, the mirror, this is what I modeled for them. So if I pick one, I'll just pick Ashley's here. So here's Ashley's Google Sites portfolio page. She's got some of the things that I've asked for. Here's the assignments that she's completed. So if I click on one, I can go in here and see, okay, yep, did she answer the questions that were in place? How well did she answer them? If I want to see the video that was referenced in that, she's put the link on there. And that's what I do.
So and you can comment on the assignment. That's how where you grade the assignments from that.
I will often, I'll take a look at that. I'll pull up the rubric on a second page, and I'll look at that. And then if I need to send her comments because, maybe you left a link out or something, I'll just fire off an email and say, here you go.
But if you wanted to comment on that piece on that site there, could you do that?
I could.
They have to give you permission.
They have to give me permission, and I left it up to the students whether they want me to contact them by leaving comments directly on it or by email. So they had the choice at the beginning of the class how they, and a lot of them are, even though this is a closed site, it's not open to the public because they weren't real comfortable with that part of it yet.
Sure.
But it's open to their peers.
Okay.
So I get to see it. Everybody who's in class has access to it because this, everybody's links are there.
See, what I would find myself doing is cutting and parts of that out, putting it in an email or something, pasting it, and then writing my comments in, my detailed comments. Or if I could do that right in their sheet, it would save that step.
Yeah.
If they look at it, and I've got to make sure they look at it.
Right. But like I said, I mean, there's, at some point you draw the line
Yeah,
and say,
yeah, we
you
gotta-
know, somebody somewhere has to take responsibility for the piece.
I find it takes an enormous amount of time to do good comments and draw them.
It does.
And then, you know, it's nice to think that somebody read it, so and most of them do, but it's frustration. I've got a 1 o'clock meeting and they don't have pizza, but I can go to it anyhow. It's my
Thanks for the
department meeting.
pizza and thanks to everybody.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks for
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I like these. I just,
Thanks for getting your hands dirty in the Google Doc.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
that's
good.
because
It's always
the way,
good.
the best way I learn is when I need to learn it.
Yeah.
Or when I want to learn it.
well, then, but I've walked out of
Yay.
Eddie, none of Gary's sessions with this thing. I'm